Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tank be Choppin, and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. Alright guys, what we're gonna be doing on this cut is we're gonna be trimming the top, a number 2 on the sides, high taper. We aren't gonna be lining up the beard on this cut, but you know, we still gonna hook them up, you know what I'm saying? So starting off, as you can see, I'm combing through my client's head. Wanna make sure I get the hair combed out, see what the hair is doing before I actually attack this cut. And that's basically what I'm doing here. And now I decided, I said, you know what, let me go ahead and debulk the sides. Normally I would cut the top first, but here recently I've been doing more of debulking on the sides first. So this is my number 4 guard. As y'all can see, I'm using my limited edition Chameleon. Is that the Chameleon? Yeah, the Chameleon Boost FX. And I'm taking that 4 guard right to that parietal ridge area, using a slight flick out motion because we are doing like a messy crop top look. And it doesn't really need to be too connected, but it doesn't need to be like completely disconnected. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I say that is because he's going for that messy look. He wants some of the hair on top to come out over the sides also. So we are gonna fade it in, but we're not gonna like focus too much on it being like perfectly blended, if that makes sense. So now that I debulked the sides, I'm gonna go ahead and saturate the top of my client's head and go ahead and start trimming the top. And as you can see, I'm coming forward in my mohawk guideline, starting off in the back, and I'm taking off about an inch or so, maybe a little more, you know what I'm saying, give or take, but I'm following that guideline all the way to the front of my client's head. And then as you can see, I'm going back and making sure all that is down to that length. And now that that is done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start setting in my sections the opposite way, but still working my way back. But this way, every time I comb up some hair, you can see that original guideline and I know exactly how much hair to cut off. And as you can see, we're doing this all the way to the back. And then I'm gonna work my way over a little more, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing. And I did speed this part up, obviously. It's a pretty good angle. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing on it. And then I'm gonna do the same exact thing to the opposite side, still using that middle guideline when I'm working my way over to the left side. And anything longer than that guide, I'm making sure to trim off. Alright, now that that is done, I am using my texturizing shears. So basically what I'm doing here is basically the same thing as point cutting, but your boy's not too good at point cutting, so I like to use my texturizing shears. And now I'm taking my Babyliss blow dryer, and all I'm doing is drying this hair a little bit, not really styling the hair, just drying it on top a little bit because it was really saturated. So now I'm going in with my number 2 guard lever closed. And this is the length we're gonna go with on the side. So as you can see, I'm coming up, you know, about halfway up on the head, using a slight flick out motion, going all the way around the head, getting the sides down to that length. Because once again, guys, this is the length that we're gonna do on the sides. So I wanna make sure I get all the sides down to that number 2 guard. And as you can see, I am using a slight flick out motion when I get to where I want my blend to start. Nothing too crazy, but just a slight flick out motion. That way it makes it a little easier for me to fade out when I start to do that. And as you can see, I did open up my lever and I am blending that section up a little bit. Basically just pushing up this line with my lever open, maybe about half an inch or so, all the way around my client's head. And then I did close my lever just to get that bottom line out a little bit. This is my number 3 guard lever open, and what I'm doing here is I'm just blending into that number 4 guard. So I know that I did a 4 already to debulk, so now I'm doing my number 3 open to fade into that 4, and then my 3 closed. And as you can see, that blend is coming together, not 100%, but it's getting there. So I reverted back to my 2 guard lever open, and then I'm gonna do some corner blending, you know, basically do my detailing techniques, just try to get this part of the blend to come together before I actually start my taper. And we are gonna do the same exact thing on this side of the head and the back. So this is my number 3 guard lever open. And then I'm gonna close my lever, try to blend that line out, and if that doesn't get the line out completely, I'm gonna revert all the way back down to my number 2 guard, and then just do some detail work to get that line to come out. And that's what I'm doing here. Here's my 2 lever open, and then I'm gonna adjust the close as needed. So I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I've been using Babyliss products, man. Like I like a lot of the tools that I have, but man, I don't know. There's something about these chameleon FX clippers and trimmers. I just like the way they work, man. I've always liked the FX, body shape. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I did, and I like the way these are cutting. But anyways, going back into this haircut, as you can see, I'm using my trimmer now, setting in my initial guideline on the taper. We are doing a high taper, and since I have the trimmer in my hand, I'm gonna go ahead and line him up over the ear and behind the ear. This is just a little barber tip that I like to do. It just makes my haircut move a little quicker. And now I'm gonna get my shaver and come right below that just to get it nice and bald. Now I'm going in with my clipper lever. Oh, I said that weird. With my clipper lever all the way open, setting in another section. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blend this out. So I just closed my lever halfway. I'm gonna work my way halfway into this section, and then I close my lever all the way, attacking that bottom line. Now this is my number 1 guard lever open, setting in another section, using a slight flick out motion. Coming behind the ear a little bit, man. You gotta come behind the ear, especially when you're doing high tapers. And then I close my lever, and now I'm trying to get rid of that bottom line in this section. It's not gonna get it out completely, so I'm gonna have to go back and detail that later on. But this is my 1.5 guard lever open. Trying to get this blend to come together. And as you can see, it's working, you know what I'm saying? It's coming together, not 100%, but it's looking good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the lineup, starting off from the middle of my client's head, and then work on my way over to that vertical bar. Hit that vertical bar, and then after this, I'm gonna go back to detailing this taper. Now, when I seen the taper, I wanted to raise it, so I'm basically gonna raise this taper. So I'm basically bottoming him out a little higher, going in with my clipper all the way open, gonna blend that out. So I'm basically retapering this side of my client's head. Now, you don't have to do this, but I didn't like the way the taper sat and the way it looked when I was, when I seen it, so I had to go back and raise it up. So I did clipper open, blended that out. Now I'm going in with my 1 guard lever open and then closed. So I'm basically just retapering up this side, guys, pushing everything up, just because, once again, I didn't like the way that taper was sitting. Here is my half guard lever open, and then I'm adjust my lever closed little by little until that section gets blended out. And as y'all can see, at least in my opinion, I feel that this taper looks better, at the height that it's at now. And here's my 1.5 guard blending into that number 2. This is the lever open, and then I just adjusted my lever closed. I'm sorry, I think that was my 2 guard, and then that was my 1.5 guard. So it was my 2 guard first, then my 1.5. Now here is my 1 guard. My bad. This is an older video, guys. I had to watch it a couple times and try to remember exactly what I did. But yeah, I'm just detailing everything now. So that was my 1 guard open and closed, and here's my half guard open. And then we're gonna do the same thing to this side. I'm gonna continue to blend this line out. As you can see on this part of the blend, that line was still there. So I'm going in with my 2 open and then 2 closed to get that line out. And we're gonna be doing the same exact thing on this side of the cut, guys. So now I'm gonna line him up behind the ear, because once again, I'm gonna go ahead and set in that bald guideline. So I got the trimmers in my hand, might as well line him up behind the ear and over the ear. Hit it with the shaver, and then I'm gonna blend this section. Well, I'm gonna start my fade by setting in the section and then blending it out. And then I'm gonna go to my number 1 guard lever open, set in another section, and then I'm gonna blend that section out. So back to what I was saying about having to redo that whole side of the haircut. So a lot of people would have probably just left it, you know what I'm saying, and then just did the other side to match it. But I didn't like the way it was sitting when I lined it. When I gave him his edge up, I didn't like the way the taper looked. Like I felt that it needed to be raised up. So I went in and I basically just retapered that whole side, and you know what I'm saying, like it is what it is, you know what I'm saying. Like I wasn't tripping. I knew I could still get this haircut done in the amount of time that I had. And I try to give my clients the best look, so I have to make sure I do what I have to do to make sure that haircut comes out good, you know what I'm saying. So if that means me retapering the whole side in, then hey, that's what I had to do. But anyways, going back into this haircut, guys, as you can see, we're finishing off this taper. Now we're gonna line him up on this side of the head, basically just match up his right side to his left side. You know what I'm trying to say. We're gonna match up both sides. But as y'all can tell, guys, I'm using these Chameleon Boost FX trimmers and clippers. If y'all want to purchase these tools, you can go to the Babyliss Pro website. Use my discount code TANK10. You will save yourself some money on anything off of BabylissPro.com. You know what I'm saying? So if you see any clippers, trimmers, anything on their website, a blow dryer, anything you see on their website, you can use my discount code TANK10. Save yourself some money. But now that I detailed that side of the blend, what I'm doing here is I'm adding a little bit of texture powder. This is the Tomb 45 texture powder. Putting it in because I'm gonna style his hair a little bit before I finish it off. I want to get like a rough draft of how it's gonna look before I actually finish it. And also, if you want to cop that Tomb 45 texture powder, you can go to tomb45.com and use my discount code TANK. But now that I styled his hair a little bit, I decided to go back in and touch up his edge up a little more. Wasn't as sharp as I wanted it to be, so I'm going back in and just lining it up a little bit better. And then I'm gonna do the same exact thing to this side. And then we are gonna add enhancements. We're gonna double up on the enhancements, and I'm gonna use the Tomb 45 barber pencil to really get this hairline to pop. And y'all gonna see it, man. This is probably my favorite cut to do, man. Like it always comes out real good on this clown right here. But as you can see, now what I'm doing is I'm taking my no drip from Tomb 45, hitting that front line up, hitting that vertical bar, and then I'm doing the same thing to the opposite side. I like the way that compressor is spraying right there, man. Like sometimes when I use compressors for a while, they don't spray as good after a while, you know what I'm saying? But right here, hey, it was on point. But as you saw me do there, I did hit him up with some hairspray, and now I'm gonna go in and put some hair fibers in there, just like I said, guys, to double up on this enhancements and to make it look a little more natural, make it look a little more sharper, you know what I'm saying? And then once that is done, I did hit him with some hairspray, but I think I edited that part out. But now I'm going back in with the Tomb 45 barber pencil. We're gonna trace his line up, right? Trace that line up on the whole front hairline. And then I said this before, guys, you want to make sure you blend out that line. A lot of people just put this line in and leave it there. You don't want to leave your client looking like an island boy, you know what I'm saying? Like you need to blend it out. So I'm taking my trimmer, going back in, blending out that line, basically just tracing that line with that trimmer, dragging that trimmer down to help blend it out a little bit. And then after this, I'm gonna go back in with the razor and really make this line pop like 10 times more. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do that, man. You gotta take these cuts to the next level. You gotta just level up, go Super Saiyan on this cut, you know what I'm saying? And that's what your boy is doing right here. Let's go. All right, so now we're hitting them with the razor. We're gonna start off behind the ear. Remember, guys, when you're using the razor, you want to make sure to stretch that skin, stretch it as tight as you can. That way you lessen the chance of nicking your client. Can't stress that enough, man. You want to make sure you stretch that skin, because if not, you can nick somebody, and obviously that's something we don't want to do as barbers, and obviously your clients are not going to like that. So stretch that skin and try to hold that blade as flat as you can to get a nice finished product. But as you can see here, I'm just finishing everything off with this razor, and these lines super sharp, taper is blended, you know what I'm saying? Top got some nice texture on it, you know what I'm saying? Your boy was putting in work on this cut. Let's go. So check it out, man. This is how my boy came into the shop looking. This is the before look, and this is the finished product. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if new to my channel, make sure to subscribe one time for your boy. Remember, guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and you want a haircut from your boy, you can go to my website, tankbchoppin.com. You can book there. If you want to purchase any of these tools, you can go to babylissPro.com, use my discount code TANK10, or you can go to tomb45.com, use my discount code TANK on any Tomb 45 products. And yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for watching. That's basically it. Yeah, man, that's all I gotta say, YouTube. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, let's go. Yeah.